pregnant!
You bitch!
The night I told him I was pregnant, he didn't smile. He called me a bitch, accused me of trapping him, and shattered 11 years of love in one moment. Subscribe today. Your next unforgettable story starts here. The pregnancy test sat on the bathroom counter like a loaded gun. 2 pink lines stared back at me, bold and undeniable. 11 years together, 3 years engaged, and I still felt like a teenager about to deliver devastating news. I found him in the kitchen, scrolling through his phone over morning coffee. The words tumbled out before I could stop them. I'm pregnant. He looked up slowly, and for a heartbeat, I saw something flicker across his face. Not joy, not even surprise. Something darker. You bitch? His voice was flat, mechanical. I should punch you in your shit. The coffee mug slipped from my fingers, shattering against the tile. The sound echoed between us, sharp and final. What did you just say? He set his phone down carefully, deliberately. Don't act stupid. You think trapping me with a baby is going to fix whatever's broken between us? Trapping. The word lodged in my throat like glass. This is your child too. Is it? His laugh was surgical in its precision. My child? The only thing I care about is what's growing in your stomach. And even that, he shrugged. I didn't ask for it. 11 years collapsed into this moment. Every anniversary dinner, every whispered I love you, every plan we'd made, all of it reduced to this. I didn't ask for it. If you feel that way, then why haven't you said anything? We could have worked on pretending I love you, on faking my way through another decade of this mediocre existence. He stood towering over me in our tiny kitchen. You've made me feel like less than nothing every single day. Nagging, controlling, making me feel like dead inside. And now this, a baby I never wanted? The kitchen wall seemed to close in. I gripped the counter, knuckles white. If that's how you feel, then leave. I should have seen it earlier. The suitcase by the closet door, half sipped, clothes spilling out like secrets. Planning a trip? My voice cracked despite my efforts. He didn't even look embarrassed. Thought I'd stay at my brother's. Clear my head. We both knew his brother lived 4 hours away and they hadn't spoken in 2 years. Clear your head? From what? From me? From this baby? From you nagging about every little thing, from you controlling every aspect of my life, from you making me feel like dead inside every single day. His words gained momentum like a landslide. And now this, a baby with someone who makes me feel like I'm slowly dying? I tried to speak, but my words caught in my throat. Look at you, he sneered, pathetic, crying like some little girl. You think I want to raise a kid with someone this week? He grabbed the suitcase, hefting it onto his shoulder. I'm not staying. Not tonight, not tomorrow, maybe not ever. The door slammed with such force that our wedding photo fell face down, glass cracking across our smiling faces. 3 hours later, his phone buzzed on the coffee table. He left it behind. Careless or cruel, I couldn't tell which. The screen lit up with the name I didn't recognize. Emma. Can't wait to see you tonight. When are you finally leaving her? I wish it was me carrying your baby. I dropped the phone like it had burst into flames. When he returned near midnight, reeking of perfume that wasn't mine, I was sitting in darkness, his phone in my lap. Who was Emma? He froze in the doorway. For a moment, his mask slipped entirely, and I saw him as he really was, a coward caught in the act. You went through my phone, his voice was indignant. You had no right. Who is Emma? I held up the phone, screen displaying her latest message. I love you. See you tomorrow. He lunged for the phone, but I pulled it back. Give me that. How long? My voice was steady now, cold. How long have you been planning to leave me? His silence was answer enough. The messages had timestamps going back 8 months. 8 months of deception while I planned our wedding.
It's not what you think, he finally said. It's exactly what I think. I scrolled through more messages, finding photos she'd sent. Intimate conversations about their future. My future. She knows about the baby. She knows everything, doesn't she? He slumped into the chair, suddenly looking defeated. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. What way was it supposed to happen? Marry me, take half my assets in the divorce, and run off with your girlfriend? You don't understand the pressure. Stop. Don't blame this on pressure or stress. You made a choice. Every day for 8 months, you chose to lie to me. You chose her. The next morning, Emma called his phone. I answered. Hello? Silence. Then a sharp intake of breath. Who is this? I'm his fiancé, the one carrying his child, the one you've been helping him plan to leave. Oh, you found out. Her casual tone sparked something dangerous in my chest. How old are you? 26. Of course she was. How long have you been sleeping with my fiancé? Look, I don't want any drama. Drama? You're sleeping with an engaged man, planning to help him abandon his pregnant fiancé, and you don't want drama? He told me about you, how you trapped him, how unhappy he is, how you've been manipulating him for years. The cruelty in her voice made my blood pressure spike. Manipulated him how? The usual ways. Guilt, tears, threats. He said you're exactly like your mother, all controlling and bitter. I hung up and sat on my kitchen floor, crying until no tears came. This was worse than betrayal. It was the systematic destruction of every tender moment we'd shared, every vulnerability I'd shown him, weaponized for his girlfriend's cruelty. When he emerged from the shower 20 minutes later, I was still on the floor. "Emma called," I said without looking up. He stopped humming. "She told me what you really think of me, of my mother, of everything we built together." He had no right. Neither did you. I stood up. "Get out. Look, we can work through this. Get out." Each word was deliberate, final. Take your suitcase and your lies and your 26-year-old girlfriend and get out of my house. The house felt different immediately. Not empty, emptied. Like it had been holding its breath for years and could finally exhale. I walked through each room, seeing it with new eyes. Had I been happy? Really, truly happy? Or had I just been comfortable, settled, too invested to admit that what we had wasn't love but habit? I spent the day purging. Every photo of us together went into a box. Every gift, every card, every piece of evidence that we'd once been happy went away. That evening, I sat in the bathtub and tried to process what had happened. In 24 hours, I'd lost my fiancé, my future husband, the father of my child, but I had also gained clarity. The water was warm around my barely there belly, and I placed both hands over the tiny life growing inside me. "It's just us now," I whispered, "but maybe that's better than what we had before." The baby kicked, just once, barely perceptible, but I felt it. We're going to be okay. My sister Rachel arrived the next morning with coffee and bagels. I told her everything, the pregnancy, his reaction, Emma, the messages. She listened in silence, her face growing harder with each detail. "That son of a bitch," she said when I finished. 11 years and this is how he treats you? What if I was right? What if I did control him? What if I did trap him? Rachel sat next to me, taking my hands. "You supported his career change 3 years ago. You moved to this house because it was closer to his work. You've been planning a wedding that's more about what he wants. Does that sound controlling? Or maybe there weren't any signs because he's a skilled liar who's been living a double life. Maybe this isn't about you failing to notice something. Maybe it's about him being really good at deception." The possibility that I wasn't to blame was both liberating and terrifying. If I wasn't responsible for our relationship falling apart, then I had to accept that some things were beyond my control. By my second trimester, I established a new routine: work, doctor's appointments, childbirth classes. I joined a support group for single mothers where I met women navigating similar challenges with grace and humor. "The hardest part," said Maria, whose ex-husband had left when she was 7 months pregnant, "is letting go of the future you planned. Once you do that, you can start building the future you actually want." The future I'd planned involved a partner, someone to share the sleepless nights and first steps. That future was gone, dissolved like sugar and water. But the future I was building, one day at a time, was entirely mine. I could paint the nursery any color I wanted. I could choose my child's name without negotiating. I could establish traditions and values without compromise. It wasn't the future I dreamed of, but it was mine, and increasingly, that felt like enough. I was 6 months pregnant when he came back. He showed up on the Saturday morning, no warning, just knocked on the door like he still lived there. Through the peephole, I could see he looked different, thinner, older, less confident. "What do you want?" "To talk, please, just 5 minutes." Against my better judgment, I let him in. He stood in my redecorated living room like he was seeing a museum exhibit of his former life. "You look good. Pregnancy suits you." I didn't respond. I'd learned that silence was often more powerful than words. "I made a mistake, a huge mistake. Emma and it's not working out. She's too young, too immature. She doesn't understand what it means to build a life with someone." "And you think I do?" "You always did. That's what I loved about you." Loved. Past tense. Love, what I love about you, what I've always loved. I sat down carefully, my hand automatically going to my belly. "You called me a bitch. You said you disgusted me. You said the only thing you cared about was what was in my stomach." I was angry. "You were honest, maybe for the first time in years." He knelt in front of me, reaching for my hands. I pulled back. That wasn't me. That was fear talking. I'd never felt so overwhelmed, and I lashed out. "What happened with Emma?" His face darkened. "She's not who I thought she was. Selfish, demanding. She thinks the world revolves around her." Sounds familiar? That's not fair. Isn't it? You left me for someone younger and more exciting, and now that the excitement has worn off, you want to come back to reliable old me? "I miss you.
I miss us. I miss coming home to someone who actually cares about me. And you think I still care about you after everything? I hope you do. I'm hoping 11 years means something, even if I was too stupid to see its value. The baby kicked hard under my ribs. I placed my both hands on my belly and his eyes followed the movement. Is it healthy? She's perfect. She? His face lit up. We're having a daughter? I'm having a daughter. You made it clear you want nothing to do with this baby. I was wrong, so wrong about everything. He reached toward my belly, then stopped when I pulled back. Can I feel her move? Every instinct screamed no, but a small part of me wanted to believe people could change. I guided his hand to my belly as the baby gave another strong kick. His face transformed with wonder. She's strong. She has to be.
After several minutes, I removed his hand. I want to come home. I want to be a father to our daughter. I looked at him, really looked, and tried to imagine letting him back into my life. Could I trust him not to leave again? Could I believe his feelings were real and not just nostalgia mixed with regret? I've changed. These 6 months without you have been hell. I know what I lost. Prove it. How? I stood up. Don't live with me. Don't move back in and pretend nothing happened. Get your own place. Go to therapy. Show me, over time, that you've actually changed. And then maybe we can talk about co-parenting. Not marriage. Co-parenting. His face fell, but he nodded. I'll do whatever it takes. And if you disappear again, you don't get a third chance. My daughter deserves better than a father who might abandon her. Our daughter. My daughter, until you prove otherwise. My daughter arrived on a snowy Tuesday in February, 3 weeks early, but healthy and perfect. He was in the waiting room when she was born, and I let him meet her the next day. The moment he held her, I saw him become real to himself as a father. Not an abstract concept, but a person. His child. Hi, baby girl, he whispered, tears streaming. I'm your daddy. I'm sorry it took me so long to meet you. The first months passed in sleepless nights and endless feedings. He helped where he could, groceries, prescriptions, holding her so I could sleep, but I remained cautious about depending on him. Slowly, I began to see glimpses of the man I'd once loved, but also someone new, more thoughtful, more aware of how his actions affected others. I've been going to therapy, he told me one day, while our daughter, Lily, napped in his arms. Dr. Martinez says I have abandonment issues, that I leave relationships before people can leave me. It was more self-reflection than I'd ever heard from him. But words were easy. Consistency over time was harder. When Lily was 6 months old, he asked what I'd been dreading. What do we do now? We were at the park, watching her explore grass with baby fascination. He'd been coming regularly, learning to change diapers and make her laugh. Are we co-parents who happen to be civil? Are we friends? He paused. Is there any possibility of us being more? I watched Lily grab grass and try to eat it. I don't know if I can ever trust you not to leave again. I don't know if I can risk Lily getting attached to having her father around full time, only to have you decide this is too hard. What would it take? What would I have to do to prove I'm not going anywhere? Time, consistency, keep going to therapy, keep showing up even when it's boring or difficult. Show me this version of you isn't just an act. How long? Maybe a year? Maybe 2? Maybe never. I looked at him directly. I won't live my life waiting for you to decide you want something different. If you can't handle that uncertainty, we should just focus on co-parenting. He was quiet, processing. Finally, he nodded. I can live with uncertainty. I can't live with losing both of you again. Lily is walking now, talking in complete sentences, developing her fierce little personality. He's been consistent in ways that still surprise me. Weekly therapy sessions, regular visits, honest conversations about his growth. We're not back together. Not traditionally. We don't live together or make future plans as a couple, but we're something more than co-parents. We have dinner most Sunday nights, the 3 of us. We take Lily to the zoo on weekends.
We've learned to navigate holidays and the ordinary moments of raising a child together. Sometimes I catch him looking at me with hope, and sometimes I feel an echo of old love, but mostly we focus on Lily, on giving her stability even if her parents' relationship doesn't fit conventions. "Do you think you'll ever forgive me?" he asked recently. I considered seriously. Forgiveness felt too big a word, too final. What I felt was more complicated. A gradual letting go of anger, a slow rebuilding of respect, acceptance that people could change even if they couldn't undo mistakes. "I think I already have," I said, surprising myself. Not in a way that erases everything, but in a way that lets us move forward. "That's more than I deserve." Maybe, but it's what Lily deserves. And maybe what we both need. Last week, Lily asked why some friends have parents who live together while her daddy lives separately. I told her, every family is different. Some parents live together, some separately. What matters is that both your mommy and daddy love you very much. But why don't you and daddy live together? Sometimes grown-ups need to live separately so they can be the best parents they can be. Daddy and I work better as friends. She accepted this, trusting that the adult in her life were making good decisions. Later, I thought about her question. The truth was more complicated. Some betrayals cut so deep that complete healing isn't possible, even with time and genuine remorse. I'd learned to protect myself and my daughter while still leaving room for growth. But maybe that was enough. Maybe building something new from the wreckage was better than trying to resurrect something fundamentally flawed. I look at Lily, confident, curious, completely secure in knowing she's loved, and know we made the right choice. Not the easy choice, not the conventional choice, but the right one for us. 3 years ago, when he called me a bitch, I thought my life was over. I was wrong about almost everything. Heartbreak didn't kill me. It taught me my worth. Betrayal didn't break me. It showed me what I could survive. And I was stronger than I imagined. If you're reading this and seeing yourself in my story, know this. The voice that tells you you're not enough, that you can't do it alone, that's not your voice. That's theirs. Trust the voice that says you deserve better. Trust the voice that says you're stronger than you know. Trust the voice that says you're already complete. The ending I got wasn't the one I planned, but it was the one I needed. And sometimes that makes all the difference. More stories await. All you have to do is subscribe.